Hello, welcome to my channel, guys. So I do some system development. Enjoy 30. 버튼은绕있어요.
Can I ask a question? Like, would I access like the Learner Lab Foundational Services since the labs are currently unavailable as they perform scheduled maintenance on their database?
That's a way for 5 minutes for all people to call. Usually people call like half an hour late for one slot. Hello. And then you can say if you want to work on your hours.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
So, is it possible when we finish our assignment and then you provide us how you tackle the assignments? Like, I want to learn from how you do it.
Okay, sure. Which assignment?
Like, I already submit the assignment too, so if the deadline meets and then you have time, can you make like a solution for
Sure.
assignment 1 and 2 so we can know how to improve ourselves?
If you got 100%, right? If you have, how much you got for your assignment 1?
93.
93.
So I just want to know how you tackle the problem so
Yep.
I can learn from you better.
Sure. Alright. If you got 100%, what you got is perfect, right?
Oh,
So if you got 93, then I think it's better for me to come and just tackle based on your specific case, right? Because when it comes to DevOps, right, there is no one solution, correct?
Yeah.
Because there's so many ways to do things.
just I want to know how you do it.
Oh, sure. Sure. So yeah, I would not now, but definitely maybe next week, or
Yeah.
I would send you the SM1 solutions, but sample solution. I would not prefer that because at the end of the day, you should really figure out your own way, because when it comes to DevOps, you see that to achieve the same task, there are 10 different ways to do things together, right? Could be tapping one by one, or use Nano, or use Veeam, or using Visual Studio Code, whatever, right? So there's so many ways to do things. So I just really don't want to fix you into one specific way. But if you want to, I can give you feedback based on.
Just like I want to tackle that problem into many different solutions, so I can learn the best one.
Sure.
Like
Okay.
that.
I can give you
Not
one.
not like fix the specific solution. Just combine that solution to mine or something
Okay,
that make me feel
Yeah,
comfortable.
for sure. But it has to come after the marketing period.
Yeah, that's
Does
right.
that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
sure. No worries.
Alright, for sure. I can provide for 1 and 2, but not 3. 3 is like open
Yeah. Okay.
pipeline, right?
But if after the course you can. Okay, it's fine for me.
I won't give you specific pipeline. I would give you directions.
Yeah.
Direction. What is like
Instructions. Yeah, that's it.
directions? Yeah. So in terms of like, what do I think is decent for the pipeline? Because for assignment 3, you're working on LAMP stack, right?
Yeah.
So I would give you what is my best practice for LAMP stack.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Alright,
Thank you.
okay.
So now we have to wait for I think 1 hour.
If they still down?
Yes, happened for 1 hour.
So 7 a.m.
It's
right?
happened at 8:30, so around 9:30.
Okay, I'm not sure what time is it. Like, is it a US time or because
So
if it's
when I
US
come to class,
it's working.
it's okay. But when I go here, around 5 minutes, around
8
8:30.
8:30. All right.
So it's like 9:30 or something.
Jeez. All right, guys. So the learner lab is down, currently down for maintenance. Definitely unlucky. So if you want to, you can boot up your VirtualBox, right? That's exactly why we learn VirtualBox. So you can boot up the CentOS on VirtualBox and work on the summon like usual. Almost all the instructions is the same. Yep. Sure. We can use Selenium or Zipline. So the thing is, for each of the purpose of the application, that we may different ways to do it. But based on my some specification, you know that I do not stress out so much about your methods. As long as you can test some of the personal use case, for example, remember I talk about the database and in case of the issue, there will be a test display on the website, say database mentioned error. Yeah, so before that, yeah, I should push when to next week, but yeah, maybe some feedback. So hopefully if you want to before that on look at the environment, do some testing, pass, before that's the production. Look. In the assignment, I say non-functional, correct? And say like some answer. So just the team. Let's say you say, hey, I want using the objective. I want to use the full AWS pipeline. Up to you. Like Sure, yeah. So if you use the Jenkins, then the most straightforward way is using some plugin, like Selenium plugin, some Festival plugin, stuff like that. It's up to you because you have a specific Can you say that louder? Oh, yeah. True, but actually you can run some execute command. You can actually run the execute language by command line. So I guess you can be flexible with that based on your needs. It's okay. So play around with that is stuff. I think that's a part of learning. Like try to get the outline functional with requirement. I don't really want so I mean, I do what I want to do, but I don't really what's about how to check that. Not pretty sure for what this is like. Okay, so to me, the most straightforward answer is use the AWS load balancer, like the most straightforward, because oh, well, because the most straightforward way is to set them to have public access. That's the most straightforward way. But it also depends on where you set the Ansible or the US. Set Ansible the same subnet, like you're easy to listen, then you can use that private Oh, yeah. Also, the most straightforward answer for you might look like that. But so Ansible to the command line, naturally you can install the AWS SDK and using Ansible combine it with your command line using the SDK of AWS. Then you can target whatever source of AWS, including the load balancer. I mean, yeah, so get into it. Like do the actual pipeline. This is just the very early stage of proposing the pipeline. Okay. Yeah. Good. So this is what keywords are. What did you learn in the cloud computing? You have two courses here. Basic one. Yeah, I just want to know what you learned in the process. What the first part of it? First part of it. Classification of learning knowledge. Yeah. Right. Straightforward. Yeah, and then so that's the only thing you learn in the cloud foundation.
Yeah. We also learn some limits of services and stuff.
Okay.
You're not forced to also.
Quite a little for 3 months. Okay. And then what is the other?
The other part is
Okay. What you learn?
it's kind of similar, but like database database.
Okay. So.
Like RDS.
Interesting.
And then the database is
warehouse?
NFS is DFS of
DFS.
AWS.
Okay. What about Route 53 A return? Routing?
It is introduced that we need to have practice like yeah.
How about S3 storage?
Well, we do storage
Yeah, so the RDBS also.
it is their RDBS was taken. Oh yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever you want, as long as
It is
it's
also
using.
an instance and
As long as within the thing is learn a lot. Literally sucks because limit so many cool services like community. So as long as also doesn't allow you to play IMI. So this can limit a lot of choices. But if you can use, I think that's possible. That's really possible. If you can use the RDBS, I'm not asking. Sure. I mean, yeah, that's really straightforward stuff. I mean, the real production, we don't really set up the MySQL on EC2 itself. I think it's straightforward. We don't think about it. Anyway, good discussion. The goal for it, like a really nice proposal, like, pitching it to me next week. I would acting like a developer, I know nothing, right? So just propose me that this is a pipeline, this is use case, I use this down, and then I do it. But yeah, it's got your teammate, who's the teammate? Separately on the machine. Sure. Really nice. So just wrap them up. Make a very nice documentation. Okay.
Normally we use automation. I don't know like
Cloud foundations. Formations. Okay, so cloud formations, honestly, to me, that was upper internet. We might use it in terms of use cases, but if you use it, expect your pipeline more concise and also flexible. That's how you use it in cloud foundation. Okay, fine. So yeah, I think it's a nice way, but it's definitely out to support. But this comes because it's just not follow. But actually, the teammate agree on that because it has so many problems. Promise? But you have to like be percentage. I don't want to see you 100%. I want to 0. What's the point? Okay, so let's start step one. I check this out. Check this out. I'm going to use more. That's like let's say to use that. Which one would use more other people? So my worker is we use first. But I would say that for AWS, people use cloud foundation, cloud formation more because it's part of that. Terraform really popular in general. Correct. So similar to Kubernetes. But people using this AWS is really popular to use Elastic Kubernetes. Oh yeah, Elastic Kubernetes service popular on AWS. But if you work on other, say you host in your own server, then you have to set up the from scratch. Like so the Kubernetes or open service. So that's a word like extremely fast. I think it might be that. Because the Elastic Kubernetes doesn't support it's free?
No, I have like any
Oh no, it's not okay. So this is a question from last time, right?
Yeah.
I need to run several
Yeah, I got into it.
Okay. Alright guys, so just so you know, when people come late, right? So currently the Learner Lab is currently down on attendance from AWS. They will down for another half an hour, right? So maybe they down for another half an hour. So meanwhile, you can read the lab first, and if you want to, you can put up your virtual box and just launching the server images, and then just work on your lab, just like how we work on the AWS on the Learner Lab anyways. So up to you. You can read the lab first for 30 minutes, and then wait for the Learner Lab to up. Or you can put up the virtual box server and work on the lab right away. The instruction will be the same anyway.
What should I do with CentOS in virtual machine?
Alright guys, I will explain about data. Super straightforward. Okay, so today we're gonna learn about few things. Which Docker compose, Docker Swarm, and load balancer on computer. So for Docker compose, we can learn by doing this application with launching a single voting application. Technically, this one. Right, so we're gonna launching a voting application across 5 different containers because they need 4 people. So first one is the voting app, which is the front end using Flash pattern, and then whenever you vote, let's save into the in-memory database. It's extremely fast. The moment you shut down your EC2, it's already gone, right? So it needs to have a permanent long-term database with you, PostgreSQL, very similar to MySQL. To do that, to actually get this voting from here to there, you need to create a worker. Worker is actually be on the top of .NET Core, which is the language C# of Microsoft. And then this one is pulling the in-memory database to this long-term database. So to display the total number of votes for Datadog, you need to have another website. This is for voting website, this is the user website, and this one is not using Flash, it's using Node.js. So technically you're launching 5 different containers, right? It's totally balanced. It's like kind of the same. Alright, so the instruction, everything, and then you can see that after you launching it, this is the voting app, right? You can vote for Datadog. And then you can actually send this link to your friends, to your family, to see that the result website happening in real time. This one changing in real time. Alright. This is architecture, and this is the stuff plan for each of the components. So basically you follow that. You gonna do Docker command step by step, right? For each of the containers, voting app, Python, and then you can create the Linux container, right? and then you can connect between the grid with the working app container, and then you're gonna do the post, database PostgreSQL container, and then you're gonna connect between the worker create new worker container with the database and the database, and eventually you will fully data from the database you will have that is built on Node.js. We create that container. After you create 5 containers, you should have the working website and then the website and you can see what you have. Alright, like that. And then you realize that doing step by step is not really sufficient. So that's why you can learn how using Docker Compose, which is create a Docker Compose file and then you run it in one single line. This is Docker Compose up one single line allows launching 5 different containers in one go. It gives you the sample file. Beautiful. And then for the next second part, we will learn about the Docker Swarm. Actually, a swarm means a bunch of Docker containers. They connect by Docker master. So Docker master and Docker worker. Right, so technically you can create 3 different servers. Docker master, Docker worker 1, Docker worker 2. The master will control worker 1 and worker 2. So the idea is this time you have to open a bunch of port numbers 2376, 2377, 7946, 4789. A lot of ports for the container to communicate between the master and the worker. And then eventually you need to change host name and then follow instructions to initialize the swarm on the master and then let the worker deploy the swarm on the master. Eventually, because this list of all the Dockers in the swarm, you have the Docker master. The star means you are on this Docker master, and then you have the Docker worker 1, Docker worker 2. Right? Eventually, you want to launch a container, right? And this container happily will be launching in any of the instances in the swarm. Right? In this case, this happens to be launching on Docker master. It could be launching on Docker worker 1 or 2, right? And then we actually learned that the file, and then you can open the website with port number, with port CPA, Docker page website, and then eventually they hey, that's fun, but now we're using the electric test settings, which means you can see that now it's up to one container, two containers inside the swarm. The master will say, alright, I need to make sure that there will be 2 containers of NTX in the swarm. So the master is this one. And if one of the container is down, I'm going to launching another container to make sure that the number of containers in the swarm is equal to 2. It's really nice because the moment your container crash, because of some issue, because of the demand of the traffic or what happened, and then crashing, and then master like, hey, let's launch a new one, to replace that. Thankfully, we can see that after I do that, it's launching 2 containers on Docker 2 and Docker master, right? And then this is optional, right? So as you know that Docker master is treated like worker. So what does it mean by that? It means that even though, let's use example of RMIT, right? Even though I'm a lecturer, I have a master program manager, he's my supervisor. But the program manager also a lecturer. Technically, even though he manages me, he's also a lecturer, he has a team, right? So this means that his responsibility and my responsibility almost the same. He only manages me, but he also has a team. But in some company, program manager doesn't have the responsibility of the worker, right? So if RMIT, if program manager doesn't have to teach, then similarly, Docker master, if you say that, hey, I don't want a Docker master not to host any container, because there's a risk that if for some reason that container crash and causing Docker Master to crash, there'll be problem because this one will have a master controller. So what we can do is say, hey, please don't let the Docker Master impose any container. Let it just remind this one only. If you do that, then you see that container in the Docker Master is shut down. And then Docker Master let's say, okay, I need to have two nginx container launching at all times. That's why Docker Master 1, Docker Worker 1, and Docker Worker 2 are now have the container in there. Okay, now you know that. Docker Master 1, Docker Master doesn't hold any container, only Worker 1 and 2 hold the container. Okay. And then the thing is, this is not good enough, right? Because at the end of the day, you want user to access the website. And Docker Worker 1 and Docker Worker 2 have two different public IP addresses, right? Meaning that if the user has to choose which one to go to, does that make sense? Like, okay, you want to go to rmt.edu.vn, and then two server, so you have to rmt.edu.vn, server 1. Or you can say, okay, let's put the server 1 down, I can go server 2. So rmt.edu.vn, server 2. That makes sense. So you should provide one single common public IP address, and then redirect the user traffic, spread out all the containers in the instance. So that's why it's introducing the Elastic Load Balancer on AWS. This allows you to have one single common domain name or IP address for the user to go to, like rmt.edu.vn. That's it. You don't need to worry about server 1, server 2, server 3, right? And then spread out all the traffic across all the instances. So if you have 10 users, one instance enough. You have 100 users, maybe 2 instances, right? A million users, they spread out 100 different instances, 1,000 users. So that's why the load of each of the traffic, incoming traffic, for each instance are small, always small. So it means that your instance never down, almost never down. And if someone actually try to attack our website and try to using DDoS, so that's about DDoS. Alright. So technically DDoS is someone evil, they control the bot, and the bot actually send request to a lot of select computer and try to attack AWS. Make sure that it's overwhelmed server, the server has to crash down, right? So using Elastic Load Balancer is really nice. Why? Because at the end of the day, we are hiding behind the Elastic Load Balancer, right? So we can easily configure a firewall here, say, if the same IP address connect to this load balancer too much, block in. Or if we have just a lot of getting traffic, right? So we have a lot of students is trying to access the website. Then this load balancer is not enough to say, hey, how to scale it with a launching more instance to this demand. And also I will show you the video of. So this is I think happened in almost real time in May 16, 2021 here, right? So technically, each of the line here are connections. So a lot of connection was like passing through one single central point in US for example, and a lot of those come from Brazil, and stuff like that. So those are actually a big problem when it comes to like New York cloud applications. So that's why Elastic Load Balancer is actually really helpful. And eventually, if you set up the load balancer, you can show that. All your go down to this one. So you select your Docker Worker 1 and Docker Worker 2 inside your load balancer, and make sure that it's inside your attribute inside the load balancer, and yeah, so So technically, after you create load balancer, it gives you one single EMS name. This one will be translated to the IP address, right? So the user can using this one in accessing the load balancer. And the load balancer will direct the traffic into one system that we set up. So and then you accessing that, the long name, and the website that. So this website is served by one of the Docker worker who is using the load balancer. Alright. And imagine that the Docker container is down, then Docker master actually is smart enough to load a new container called Internet. It's something the customer so that goes and then down. And yeah, this is a better example. Utilization of the load balancer. So a lot of clients they go to the internet, they connect to the load balancer, spread out the traffic among all the servers. Yeah, and you can monitoring it. You can see that how many respond within milliseconds that my load balancer is having, and how fast my load balancer will respond back to the client. You can actually have a lot of statistics and graph and data to analyzing how well or what's the performance of my load balancer. Alright, so that's it. That is pretty cool. So in this lab, we learn about the Docker Control, Docker Swarm, and load balancer of AWS. And hopefully next thing we learn, we're going to learn about Kubernetes, and that's nicely wrap up this DevOps course. So remember, this is the fundamental of DevOps, not even intermediate or advanced. It is not for you to apply for some junior position for DevOps engineer. Alright, I'd like to show them the pipeline, the GitHub, and that's why I'm very important to stress out that whatever you do is not important. Important people can't see it. Right? So whatever you do, make sure that you post on GitHub. Have a very nice, pretty file. So that the file can look into it and see how good you are. That's very important. Alright, so after this course, make sure that you have at least 3 different GitHub examples, like Summon 1, Summon 2, and Summon 3. Make sure they are in very quality, know them exactly what you do. Summon 1 testing about the JavaScript skill, performance. Summon 2 testing about some basic pipeline with Jenkins, Tomcat, and Docker. And then Summon 3 like testing everything that you know. And I actually don't limit any specific type of work technically. If you say, hey, I don't want to use Jenkins, I want to use something else, go for it. Say, hey, I don't want to use any other service. I only want to use any other service offered by AWS, go for it. Right? So up to you as long as you finish the pipeline functional, meet all the requirements, and I'm happy. In the meeting next week, I'm just a web developer. I don't know anything about DevOps. So whatever you propose, I listen to it, and as long as you meet my use case and purpose for my development and deployment, then I'm happy. So you can go crazy for your assignment. Oh yeah, the Learner Labs is up. Perfect timing, right? The Learner Labs up now, so you can open the Learner Lab and do the lab. Thank you. let's say I want to work some you are very little template. Because I'm so used to the tool, so I don't really know all the screenshots they have, it's not like it. But sometimes we really powerful, I think so all the images we actually it's not like it. Everything has Oh yeah, so the ECS, right? Yes, you can. Okay. Okay. For this one, as long as support, then I also have this without support. Okay. It's one. Then you have to prove to me that. Just prove to me it's possible to try some new traffic. I can try some default, microphone scaling, then I leave. Okay. Sure. ECS. You're really pushing the. Oh, sorry.
So basically, I need to like remove the outside engineer.
So let me
Yes. Very I need to modify.
Sounds by yourself. Can you see it? Yeah, play. Are you confident about the meeting?
Most likely they are. I really type on paper right now. They have so many things to do.
Something I don't even put it.
They can,
You know, this is amazing. Then I will show up to the event manager. So who's be the RMIT representative from the school? It's not amazing. The name of the event. Imagine parents and children of high school called RMIT consider like the school, you know, would consider like, hey, you know what they can do? I show them the app. Right? And also currently I'm occupying the Apple developer account now. So it means that I can, if you want to, push the app into the App Store. So everybody can download the app, see your name.
that's a lot of pressure, you know. That's a lot of pressure you put on you.
But the thing is, like to make diamond, put a lot of pressure, I think.
True.
Hopefully it turns out to be diamond.
CS. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So, alright, so the stage, you know.
Alright, thank you.
Do you need to turn on any projector?
May I borrow your computer? It's on the link on.
Sure, sure.
Alright, everyone. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon. For the survey team, here to help you complete the course experience survey. As you know, it's voluntary, and your lecturer won't see the response until all your marks have been finalized. As for the response, there's a written strongly agreeing means you show the course and your lecture. If you are disagreeing strongly, disagreeing means the opposite. Neither agree or disagree means you're feeling neutral. I'll put the link on here. You can follow along and log in. Proceed filling out the survey.
It happens.
Oh, is it on it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually very important for us to receive your feedback. Very important.
You all see the link?
Yes.
Yes?
In fact, if you can do it now, that'd be awesome. I would be over the moon.
Yep, send your lecture all the love. Tell him
Yes.
how awesome he is,
Yes,
how much fun you have.
yes, do it. And remember, we have a
Please
pizza.
Please don't crush it. Can you stay up here, please?
Yep.
Good. When they're doing the survey, yeah, you're gonna. Alright.
Well, I have to go outside now, but make sure you do the survey.
Oh, you're going. Alright. Okay. Oh, there's someone behind you.
Do the survey too.
Can everyone see the link? Yeah?
It should feel like that.
Alright, everyone, you all done, right? You all good? Alright, cool. Okay, thank you everyone for taking your time and actually fill out the survey. Appreciate your response. Any question, comment, or feedback, email us at survey@rmit.edu.vn. Your lecturer is losing patience with us, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Vậy ủa anh chưa có nhấn luôn.
Anh đang nói
Vậy,
mình
vậy thôi anh điền tên lên luôn. Giống mình có bạn của anh Thảo.
Ok.
Tuấn cái này nó nghỉ.
Ok. Tại anh đang lớp này anh quen có mỗi nhỏ này thôi, nhưng mà nó được mời vô team mà nó không biết quen ai đấy. Ai cũng lạ hết trơn, không biết ai.
Ủa, anh Mai là gì á?
Anh à? Anh học General IT nhưng mà anh muốn theo backend với DevOps. Là backend với DevOps mà tới làm backend xong không được thì switch qua.
Anh 9 mấy?
Anh 97. Anh học xong một bằng rồi. Tại anh thích anh học tiếp thôi.
Cũng ai cũng có IT luôn mà cũng IT luôn.
Không, bằng kia là bằng điện.
Ok, rồi dạ giờ lo assignment 2 trước thôi chứ assignment 3 cũng mới đọc qua.
Assignment 2 anh làm xong rồi cho nên
xong rồi.
cho nên bây giờ tìm team.
Ok.
Tại mấy này là sao mình đâu để ý đâu, giờ mới nhớ hết luôn lên.
Em xin Facebook anh để em add vô group luôn.
Ok, biết tìm ra không đó.
Assignment này làm xong luôn.
Anh làm để anh làm mấy môn khác á.
Ủa anh viết đốc có phải được luôn?
Anh viết bậy bạ đó nè, chứ cô không có chuyên nghiệp đâu. Viết sao nó chạy ra được hả? Từ coi bạn bè ở đâu.
Mọi người bấm vô.
Tại vì cái tên của anh nó hơi phổ biến, hơi khó tìm. Tính tìm ở trong cái trang web
mà
mình
tìm em dễ hơn đó.
Tại vì chỗ này bán đồ ăn nhà anh nó có tên anh trong đó mà anh quên mất cách tìm cái người mấy cái người like trong đây rồi ta. Rồi. Nó thi trong đây. Đó. Người nhà anh tìm tới đây cho nó dễ. Nó khóa này nhỏ quỷ.
Ủa anh
nè, tìm kiếm em về trong những người chung nè cho nó lẹ. Để tên anh hơi phổ biến, anh Minh mà. Anh Minh mà họ Nguyễn. Ok, xong. Mỗi lần anh tìm phải vậy á, tại anh rút kinh nghiệm mà mỗi lần tìm cái tên Facebook anh không bao giờ tìm ra. Để cho nó lẹ. Ok, có rồi. Em học mấy nền nè?
Em học cloud. Ba đứa em là 2.000 hết.
Là chung mấy nền hết hả?
Học các này rồi. không open.
Em cloud hai bạn kia làm
Hai
gì?
bên cái trên general.
Giống anh là ba đó. Tại vì coi mấy môn bên minor anh không thích lắm, anh thích học general, thích môn nào đấy đó.
Nguyễn luôn.
Anh muốn theo DevOps với backend luôn, nhưng mà chỉ tìm được cái code này về DevOps là hay nè.
Đúng rồi,
Ba code kia nó cơ bản quá, mình tự học được nên không có tính học. Đi học mất hết 3 môn để theo cái minor, 3 môn đó mình nghĩ không cần. Một môn có bà Anna nữa.
Giờ không môn bà Anna nữa.
Có cái môn data centric gì đó, trong cái minor 4 môn có một môn có bà Anna. Một môn cloud computing thì chưa học nữa. Môn này với môn gì Linux nữa.
Cloud computing thì Thạch dạy á.
Thành, biết ông nào chưa gặp.
Thành nó Thành
Thành á.
Không.
Thành nhiễm for the web á.
Đúng rồi. Thành nó ghê giống ghê quá.
Quỳ luôn.
Cái bài lab rồi test thì cuối.
Then you put up your log thing like the mission by the but twice sync like using the same time. And then when you set up content, it's really blocked inside. And it's hatch. That can check like the web is they have the same path outside. But I would say that is a bit more troublesome. So that's 2 ways. Remember. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Just to know that for the assignment to understand as long as you actually block the project. I didn't do it. As long as doctors or Java, but some thinking doctor or everything But for me, I try to use yes, it's really troublesome. Because you use the same way, stick the same way. Not sure that's what. You know, what they will check installation correct by doing the version of the main Java.
So this is like the correct format of advanced calculation.
machine part.
Maybe the hard would be mental.
Oh, it's just like
I was right.
oh yeah, I was getting to that.
Okay. Oops.
You can't test what you It's trying to discuss one time.
He's going.
Give you a little bit of sound for winning.
Yep. Yeah, so this AI now.
Yeah, that's why I need to have a little bit of trick on this. Right. Let me just move on a little bit. So right here, what's going to happen next is if I were to move my page, let's say here, right? Check what happens to the board.
What is it?
So what's happening is that so when I was making so let's just give it a little bit of context. So my broad philosophy previously just had easy. It's just around just generating a bunch of moves and then trying to pick a move. Then the medium part is going to try to force take whatever that it can take. And also it will try to make a move that will take the enemy king. Right? And during my coding to take the enemy king, I realized that I have to make a move. And then check if that move checks the king, right? And then if it doesn't, then it just reverts back. Yeah, but it didn't do that. So it didn't revert everything back. So every time it tries to check the king, it beats everything around it. Yeah, and then I thought about it and I said, why don't I crank it to the max? So whenever it tries to move, whenever the bot tries to move, it will eat everything around all the time.
He doesn't care about what he's actually missing. The queen is so important. You don't want to queen and move over to anything you want to. If I can risk queen, I will not do that. If you follow up the reason, queen back. You can do otherwise not try. He was like crazily trading and then losing the queen very early on. But the reason why I think I think you might be.
I mean, it's really not like it. I mean, I could probably like checkmate him or you know like the
Oh yeah, the classic.
the scholar check. It's E4 and then E5, E5, yeah, and then bishop here, yeah, check, yeah, and we're here to check here, yeah, but you just take this picture. Oh, because you work there.
See,
Not, it doesn't work every time, but it works 50% of the time. So here.
it's fun. It's growing every day.
Yeah.
So I could not run the Docker server in the Ansible admin Docker server.
Single player, multiplayer. Rocket League.
Docker, not Docker.
Morning, good to see you. How's your assignment? That's good. Assignment 2? Did you submit on time this time? Yeah, right.
One ask you some like advice,
Okay, about
job advice.
job advice, okay.
So I have worked at backend developers before. So basically, I enjoy doing backend stuff.
Like what type of backend you like specifically?
So I work at a startup company. So my boss like he doing everything on the application on the back end, the servers, and he wrote some config file like YAMLs, Docker file. So at that time, I didn't know about DevOps.
Yep.
I just know it's about backend. It's like DevOps and backend, the mix things.
So, okay, yeah, okay.
So I was a little bit confused, but I really like DevOps too. So is it possible that if I do, I know what to do? Like I like both. Like that.
Okay. So your question is,
My question is, is it's easier to pursue to be the backend developer first and then switch to DevOps, or just go straight to DevOps?
alright, so really good questions. So definitely, to be good at DevOps, you need to understand the needs of a developer, correct?
Yeah,
As you be the pipeline, who use it, the guy who actually develop
developers.
stuff.
Yeah,
So if you don't even know, but if you never understand the backend, you never actually put yourself as developer, you have no idea like why I'm doing this for, right? Because at the end of the point, at the end of the day, you be the functional pipeline and you never use it. What's the point? But technically, you need to be decent. I would say that decent of backend, like understand all the struggle of like, oh my god, deployments and the struggle of this and that. Understand different components, just on the surface level, just on the surface level, and then you can move to DevOps. And then you can be really good at DevOps. Because at the end of the day,
that was amazing.
DevOps is all about the pipeline and deployment, but it also requires you to understand a bit about development. Because the developer guys, like in the assignment 3, we give you a guide how to deploy that on his laptop, right? It would be not ideally if you don't understand what's going on. Like look at the guy like, oh, what's going on? You have to understand a bit, right?
Yeah.
To actually using that, make them into a part of the pipeline. Like in assignment 3, you never learn LAMP stack before.
Yeah,
But
sure.
if you understand some of the basic development stack, you know that
Yeah, it's
really
just
easy.
different syntax
Correct.
and different stack.
Database, you know, it's MySQL, MariaDB, the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's stuff like SQL, MongoDB, almost the same stuff, right?
It's just SQL and no SQL. That's
correct. So it's not like structured database become like JSONs, all right. And for Java, it's not Java, it's not PHP. You don't even need to like know how to do it in Java. So it's not known how to do it in Java or PHP.
So I have done like a few backend language like Golang, Java, PHP, and also Node.js. I see I develop API, so I see the same thing.
Yep.
Just a different syntax and different setup a little bit.
Too boring, yeah. That's why I'm moved to machine learning because my challenge. That's why
Yeah,
web.
so I understand a little bit of that. So when I get your course, I feel very excited. Like it's what I think is what I want to do. But if I want to join DevOps or something, I need to have some more experience in backend stuff, and then I try to move in.
Not too much. The thing is, you're not supposed to. In theory, for big company, they might hire DevOps engineer, right? Just like to do the DevOps thing. But the thing is, once the pipeline is done, you just maintain it, right? So usually they can't maintain it. You don't even do any pipeline.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that because the big companies like they have all the roles.
Correct.
Who's gonna respond for
But
this?
for small company startup, You do
Yeah,
everything. You
that's
do
why.
dev,
Mm.
you have to do the DevOps thing. So technically, you need to know everything, right? So you like said, if you want to apply for startup, dev and DevOps together in one single role. So I would suggest that you be good at dev first,
Yeah.
and then you build the basic pipeline of DevOps. Why? Because at the end of the day, you think about it, what's the point of DevOps? To make things develop smoothly.
Yeah.
I don't care you're using AWS or whatever, as long as the website is up, the client see it, within maybe 5 minutes, like you can deploy at least a few times a day. I'm happy, right? And then when a new developer comes to the company, they don't need to worry about anything. It's like, hey, you need to launch this, pick
Run
up,
some
and
commands.
then tapping,
done. Yeah.
push. That's it. He don't worry about like, oh man, I have to like log into this website, have to like deploy that, you know. Just the newcomer come, just hey, this is the GitHub, you need to clone that, push it, that's it. It's your job, right? So your job.
I was that guy. I was
Oh.
that guy you mentioned when
Yeah.
my boss told me, okay, you just type that in. That's it.
So
you
that's-
don't ever wonder why it's just go up there.
Yeah. So
But
exactly.
I'm confused. I really want to know why.
That is exactly why you should learn DevOps, because you want to do more.
Yeah.
Say, hey boss, I actually know DevOps now, right? I can help out with the pipeline. I can contribute to the pipeline. You have to introduce new idea. Say, hey, the pipeline now is not efficient. You see the problem because you're dev, right? You see the problem, and you suggest the solution, and you actually don't want to do it. Right? So that's a part of, I would say, DevOps. That doesn't have to be complex, as long as it can solve the issue. Right? I don't care about is it in the private subnet or public subnet. Just get it done, right? In real life, company don't care how you do. Like that was the point, right? Unless there's some hacking issue, then it's okay. But usually, who cares, right? Just get the website up and running. We are wasting
Running
time.
fast, right? We get the business going, and then care about security when there's so many users. That's
Correct,
it.
correct.
I know about the business. things.
Correct. So honestly, for company like that in Australia, also already like that. Right? Unless you are working like Big Four, then that's different. Then you don't even touch the DevOps. Because some senior
Or
guy
seniors
do
or
once,
technical
do
leaders.
once on the cloud, and that's it. You don't even touch it. And if you actually hire to be do DevOps, you maintain it. You don't even touch that pipeline, right? It's like stuck. And sometimes they might want to do some new features. What, for example, A/B testing. Have you heard about A/B testing?
Like testing the database connection and stuff.
No.
Query things.
No. So for example, they got a
Not really,
website.
yeah.
Got a website, right? They want to deploy on the web. That's fine. But then the question is for the marketing team, right? For the UI/UX guy. Some people are like, hey, if we change that red button for purchase to green buttons, we can increase 20% of the customer buy.
Oh, okay.
So that's the
Statistic.
theory, right? So by do A/B testing mean that you have to like maybe configure the pipeline so that you create two different server, right? Production server, 50% of the traffic flow to the side A, 50% of the traffic flow
I
side B.
understand.
Then you see which one will perform better.
That's
Then
it's two instant, one with the red one, one with the green one.
correct. And see which will perform better, and then you report back, and you like finally you're choosing that, make decisions. So something like that, right? So usually you don't touch a pipeline for big company. Maybe you do some small things like that, testing things like that.
In big company, like, okay, just time that command, done. It's not
That's
like
very normal. Honestly, very normal.
no one gonna get a new guy to touch the pipeline or something.
It's really risky, right? Unless you are very senior. That's why.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if it's better to move right into DevOps or just go smoothly from the back end and then
So,
go inside.
So if you want to experience both, right, you should apply for staff. You should
Yeah,
really
that's
don't look at the title because the title is dumb, right? Because they don't even know what
Yeah, I
they put
know.
there. Look at the job descriptions. So in the job description, they do actually say something about the pipeline deployments, optimize deployments, or anything regarding the pipeline. And you know that there must be some DevOps component inside that job.
Yeah,
you
so
apply for
I
the top-
applied for two companies. The first one I did for half a year, the requirement is like very not very concise, very very limited. But when going to, I have to do all kind of things like backend database,
That's
admin
why
system a
it's
little
really
bit.
tough. I think that's one of the things the student really missing out is even though job description
Yes,
is alright,
that's true.
but trust me, I got many CEO of company, they come to me and they ask me, Tom, I want to data analyst. But I have no idea what is the difference between data analyst, data engineer, and data scientist. Alright?
Yeah, same
and I also don't know what to put in job descriptions. So technically, he described to me, he's like, someone asking him, like, how would you approach this? He's like, oh, I'm actually go to the internet, I search for the job, I copy the description, paste it into my.
Oh, so that's it. Okay.
So the job description is not really reflecting anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? They don't even know, especially for staff. They don't even know what they're looking for. And so when you go to the interview, you have to ask him like, can you describe to me like what is your requirement, what's your need, and what you guys supposed me to do, like, what is my expectation.
You know what? Disadvantage. Normally, the HR they are like non-technical persons, and then when asked them about the specifications of the requirement, they said the same thing like in the internet.
Yep.
So that's why when it comes to interview with the right people,
Yep.
that's when you ask them, right?
So that's why so one of my favorite thing I told students to ask at the end of the interview is this. So usually at the end of the interview, right, they will have like a question like, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
Usually students like, oh no, like move on. But the best question to ask is, I think a few things. I think three best questions to do it. The first one is, can you describe a day-to-day work for me? Like if I work in a company, like can you describe for me like what exactly you do?
That's true.
And then imagine that I already got hired. Imagine that who's my team and how many people in my team and who's my like hierarchies in the structure of the company, right? Like what's my
role,
team
right?
dynamic? Yeah. Right. So that's the second
What I
question.
gonna contribute in the pipeline of the team.
Yeah, exactly. So these are very, very good questions. Why? Because they have to imagine you already in the company, right? They have to imagine that already to describe to you. Then physically, like for psychology, right? They imagine they hire you already. That actually influence their hire decision a lot.
Oh, got it.
Because like it's like 5 candidates, right? I'm not sure which one. And this guy asking me like imagine. I'm like, okay, I have to imagine. Oh, alright. So he worked in a company, he worked in a team, he contributed to the team. Like technically they visualize you already working, right? So when they hire you, it's really easy. It's like, oh, I don't have to think about which one to choose. And also you understand what they're expecting you like day to day, like with the pipeline, that stuff, and then maybe meetings, with this and that.
Yeah, I forgot to ask about those.
Yeah. So,
Very good one. That's
Yeah.
why I'm way confused. What the requirement is like this, and then go
Yeah.
inside. Not the same.
job market in Vietnam sucks because they don't even know what they're looking for. Unless the one who wrote the job description is your team leader.
Oh yeah, true. But they don't have time.
Yeah.
Most of the
Right.
time, startup is like they are dying. They have to keep going,
Especially
keep going.
medium company, what the team leader will do is they like, I need 2 developers, maybe Node.js. That's it. And then HackCraft people, they have to like Google Node.js developer on the market, right? In the LinkedIn, on the Vietnam work, right? The copy descriptions, they match up like 5 different descriptions, and then they give it to you. That's why a lot of job description require you to know everything, to know like 10 different languages. That
Yeah,
is like
but
that.
if you don't have those, you still get hired.
Yeah, exactly.
You got one
apply
like
for it.
that.
Just apply for it, and then when you go to meet the team leader, right, you know exactly the team leader need. Because team leader needs only these few things only, and the HR people don't understand. Like, they just match up a lot of stuff. So that's why I feel like there is a gap between what team leader want and what you can offer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just go.
If I meet him, I'm done. Not consider
It's
about
also
the
very
HR.
important to show, it's not tell, to show. So push the GitHub account and make the diagram and stuff, right? So at least when you talk to go to meeting, you can show right away that, hey, I got a really nice LinkedIn that cut all my past project. So if you have time, we can go through some of my project and I can show you that what I can do. And I think that some of them actually really match. what
I
you
read
need.
through your GitHub, like the README and stuff. I can follow README new beginners still can follow like that.
Yeah.
It's really good one.
Yeah, that's why I actually really put a lot of value into GitHub, right? Because right now in the market, so many developers, but how do we distinguish the good one and the excellent one? There's no way, unless you have to interview them. But the best way for you to show is of telling, because most of the developers, they don't even have the skill to like communicate clearly.
Like presentations.
Yeah,
Stuff.
they shy, the introvert. So make GitHub, like show them the GitHub. That's enough.
That's true. And one more last question is about if that my role part I just mentioned, if I apply for master, what kind of
Master, like what type of master?
yeah, so confused about all the master stuff. If I go higher, if I want to be backend and DevOps, is there any specific major in master I can
Yep.
consider?
All right. So the thing is, let me think, right? Because my opinions might be different from a lot of people's opinions, but I can tell you my personal opinion. All right.
Okay.
That when I was graduated from my uni, I worked 2-3 years as the
Yeah.
head of web, right? So technically, I'm really bored because at first I learned a lot of stuff. I learned all of the AWS, I learned all of the deployment, the scaling stuff. But at the end of the day, I was like really bored after 2 years. Like I know everything now. Everything, just the same thing over and over again. Right? So like the
I
same
understand.
stuff. I learned nothing. So, and then I want to apply for master. I was in a lot of dilemma because there's so many different master. Right? Different
Yeah,
master
basically
personality.
they are like AI
Mm.
stuff like that.
But once again, you have to think. You have to think, right? You already got the bachelor of IT.
Yeah.
They already know that you can do IT stuff.
Mm.
So why do you want to take a master for?
I understand what you mean.
Like I see a master of software engineer. Right? Like, hey, this guy can do more software stuff. I mean, dude, GitHub is more valuable.
True.
Like, if I got another master of software engineer, I wouldn't be impressed. Right? I would like, he can do more algorithm in that structure. So what? I mean, I want someone to do stuff, not to tell stuff, right? So I think a better way for you is to really choosing a master that really diverge your skill, right? So really specialization, like software, master of software engineering is not specialization, it's just general.
General.
This means that you can actually work in a project, you can maybe do some project management, you can do some deployment and stuff,
I
like
got your
high level
stuff.
stuff.
So pick the one who's the most general,
So pick
Right.
the one really specialized.
really specialized.
For example, master of AI, master of machine learning, master of maybe DevOps. I think some of the offers. Master of
Funny.
cyber security,
Yeah.
master of master of
Normally just AI software.
cloud. Get like 10 different cloud certificates. It's easy, it's cheap, and then
Yeah.
it's also important because most companies go cloud right now. And
Yeah,
then
true.
to get the certificate of cloud, it's like you like what 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's cheap as well. Like
So I touch EC2 and S3. That's it. My company using S3 for storage, and I don't think they use EC2 or something, but I use here, so I
okay,
know
so
about
there,
that.
there's a few more important components of AWS you might need to know, which is RDBS, so the database stuff,
Database stuff. Okay,
and then Route 53.
I heard about that.
So Route 53 is like for you to routing the A-star record, like with the when you actually deploy the website, right, you have to buy the domain name, and that domain name has to associate
got it.
with the IP address, and that IP address usually associate with your instance, right? So that 53 actually do that.
It's still a thing from DNS to your private IP.
Correct,
Oh,
correct.
that's
And then
so good.
maybe about some network. To be honest, as long as it works, no one cares. Right? Networking is like fundamental. And then
Suck at network.
yeah, it's alright. Just
No, a
do
little
it.
bit.
Just do more. I'm also bad network, but just do more. What else? And then yeah, like the auto scaling, load balancer, like scale up, scale down. And also
Yeah,
the basic deployment tool stuff, and very very familiar with bash script, command line, Linux. It's like minimal, like do anything you need to know command line.
Yeah, the basic.
Yeah,
And then
like
search for anything in the edge case.
so yeah. Don't the thing is, don't do something generic like master of surveillance because
Messed up IT.
yeah, because the
Yeah,
first
I
year they
understand.
ask you to do the same thing again. They ask you to study algorithms, the structure again.
Yeah,
Ask
for
you
the
to-
one like they don't have bachelor in IT.
Correct.
To we get the fundamentals.
So you can
right?
skip all the credit, but still, like you skip 1 year of credit, right? And then you take another 1 year, like the master like 2 years, right? So you skip not 1 year and you do 1 year, so it's alright. But the name of the master is quite generic master, unless you really need that master for something like maybe for teaching, like I need the master.
For PR.
No, you have PhD. Master mean nothing for PR
Really?
in Australia. I think
Okay.
5 pounds. I think 5 pounds.
And also working experience.
Yep. Yep. Correct. Correct. That's too boring, man. Like master of software engineering.
It's too much study.
Like, dude, most of the stuff, 90% of the stuff that you study there is like not even.
Relevant in the working
Yeah.
place, I know.
I would say 90% of what I learned is
It's
actually
just
at work.
when you study master, you got the chance for PR and you got a chance working on some
In that
other
case,
project.
do
That's
something
it.
different. Like do a totally different degree. Why? Because at the end of the day, you don't study the same thing. So it's worth your money. And also, if one day you really want to switch career to that, it's possible. Right? So I have a master of machine learning and AI. So one day I can just go out to the industry and working as a data scientist, no problem, right?
Yeah, sure. I
Otherwise,
understand.
I'm gonna stop thinking at like coding Node.js forever.
Yeah, true. Okay, it's good enough. I think he's waiting for you for a really long time. Thanks, sir. Very good advice.
All right, good luck finding job.
Okay, thank you.
And when I go click on the name,
Annual free, study period, annual free indicated scholarship. Okay.
Went for coffee with the guy and she's here. He said like after the interview, marketing like associate engineer. And not that they were freedom. But the thing is, me and she at that moment, like they are doing the video level. Yeah, so just keep
Okay, so why don't you say have a free internship?
yeah, I mean, it's a good deal too, but the thing is, compared to the actual job that I share with you, it's much
I mean, you have offer anyway. I heard of being losing money, losing a lot of money. So I have a student, I think you might know him. So he finished at he Summit One for the LS. He meet them with Summit One and they do the test. They actually say we will contact you for the game last one. Game last.
Đâu thôi. Khỏe không?
And then also apply for PhD.
Hôm qua anh mới làm assignment của môn này cho nên không có để ý mấy cái của em nhắn lắm. Nhưng mà em làm được chưa?
chưa thấy chia ra cái từ sau đó từ này làm hết rồi từ sau không chưa làm gì.
Bình tĩnh. Tại chủ yếu là làm viết cái report thôi. Không sao. Thầy cũng ok đó, ý là hôm bữa nói chuyện thầy thấy của thầy kiểu nhóm mình có cố gắng, thầy cũng ok rồi đó. Tại thầy chấm điểm mà, cô Anna đồ hỏi thôi, chứ thầy là người chấm thôi.
Có cái journal thấy nét quá.
Hả?
Journal nét quá.
Journal á, chấm điểm trễ quá. Chấm bài 1 release luôn, viết bài 2, bài 3 cải thiện, tự nhiên làm đến bài 3 xong rồi qua bài 1 ra thấy chứ bài 2, bài 3 mình viết cũng chán.
If you want to actually require someone to work like outside on you or something more, even though like beginning level, you can still require like a year experience.
I mean, so have you been working with the new company yet? Net, right? That was 10 days now, around the lunch.
So yes, I have .NET. When you say I'm gonna get
What exactly the framework is about? Let's say game, doing application.
Actually, right now they have strongly depend on the Visual Studio. And create a lot of framework like Angular, Star, and multi-project or multi-project.
I know that what application requires you to do
They haven't assigned me a project yet. They just practice .NET or Java, but I will learn .NET because
.NET is so awesome. It's like humongous framework to do everything. Do web.
ASP.NET.
So that's like web, right? That's a web. Nice. Very.
Everything is right now. The best compiler.
Yes, fastest. But adoption rate is not so good. It's like Flutter. Don't remember if you are something.
Which was the poker game that was very good.
That's good. That's right. The community project can have so many times company gives me a framework that I haven't learned, and they have to like say, you have to do it within 5 days. The project, the big project, I think 10,000 lab code. New framework never learned before. I do it. So just do it. Do it.
Do it and get money.
Yeah. You move on. You lie.
Yeah, it's like no.
You get money. It's like screw you. Move on.
Thì sao anh học building a system PCB
Ai biết cái system luôn hả?
này cái kia lúc anh mới vô trường á thì cái kỳ đấy chưa có mở lên nữa.
Em cũng chưa học nên sao cũng học.
Ủa, anh phải học môn security chứ. Môn security với thầy cho vậy học trước luôn đó.
Suy nghĩ
Tự nhiên thấy cái mấy đứa kỳ này mới vô nó học BPAD system rồi môn PCB rồi xong chứ sớm mình vô mình không học hai môn này trước nữa. Thì sao học hai môn luôn? Môn đó là dành môn thầy cho như vậy là kiểu bị bay đúng không? Còn cái môn PCB đi đâu? Bây giờ thầy cho như vậy rồi. Okay guys, see ya.